Part 1. Introduction and Tomb of Qin Shi Huang. Introduction. The mysteries that defy time. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie beneath the surface of the earth, hidden away by the sands of time? In every corner of the globe, there are mysteries that baffle even the most brilliant minds. We, with all our technological advancements, have barely scratched the surface of the ancient world. While we may have uncovered incredible civilizations, ancient artifacts, and complex architectural marvels, some secrets refuse to be unearthed. These mysteries, some thousands of years old, continue to intrigue and mystify us. Today, we embark on a journey through history's most compelling unsolved mysteries. We will uncover stories of lost civilizations, unexplained artifacts, and uncharted tombs, all of which remain unsolved, even as modern science attempts to piece together the past. What if I told you that some of these mysteries were deliberately hidden, while others exist outside the realm of our understanding? Our first stop takes us to the ancient lands of China, where the tomb of Qin Shi Huang lies shrouded in mystery and guarded by untold secrets. The story of this tomb is not just one of discovery, but one of intrigue, danger, and the deep-rooted cultural significance of the past. Tomb of Qin Shi Huang, a legacy buried beneath earth. Nestled beneath the green hills of Shaanxi province in China, the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor to unite all of China, remains one of the most awe-inspiring and mysterious archaeological sites in history. For over 2,000 years, this colossal tomb has been untouched by human hands, while the surrounding terracotta warriors have been unearthed and displayed for the world to marvel at. The emperor's actual burial site remains sealed, protected by a series of ancient myths, legends, and unexplained phenomena. This tomb, which stretches across 56 square kilometers, is far more than a final resting place for an emperor. It is a testament to the power and ambition of Qin Shi Huang, who commissioned its construction at a young age. Work on the tomb began when he was only 13 years old and continued well into his death, involving over 700,000 laborers, an extraordinary number for that time period. Surrounding the tomb are hundreds of burial pits filled with life-sized clay soldiers, horses, and chariots, all meticulously crafted to protect the emperor in the afterlife. Each soldier is unique, with individual facial features, hairstyles, and armor designed as if they were alive. During Qin Shi Huang's reign, these warriors are often the star of the tomb, but the most significant chamber, the one where the emperor himself rests, has never been disturbed. This is not for lack of curiosity or exploration. Ancient texts describe a chamber filled with rivers of mercury, a reflection of China's great rivers, and a ceiling inlaid with pearls to replicate a sky full of stars. Some records even claim that treasures and the emperor's officials were buried with him to accompany him in the afterlife. Yet, despite these tantalizing descriptions, no one has dared to excavate the tomb further. Modern technology has confirmed that the ground beneath the massive burial mound contains unusually high concentrations of mercury, exactly matching ancient texts. But the risks are too great. The fragile nature of the remains and the possible environmental hazards posed by mercury have led archaeologists to exercise extreme caution. The very air around the tomb, rich in the chemical, could pose deadly risks to both humans and the environment. But it is not just the physical dangers that keep the tomb sealed. In Chinese culture, imperial tombs are considered sacred. To disturb them is not only a breach of historical integrity, but a deeply spiritual offense. Qin Shi Huang's tomb holds more than just relics and treasures. It holds a piece of Chinese identity. It symbolizes the emperor's power, his divine right, and his unification of the nation. To open it would not just be an archaeological undertaking, it would be a profound cultural and spiritual violation. This tomb, with its haunting silence and untouched treasures, has led to bold theories about what could lie within. Some suggest that it contains knowledge lost to history, or evidence of ancient technologies far beyond what we are capable of understanding today. Could the emperor have known secrets that have yet to be uncovered, and if so, what would that knowledge mean for the world today? Despite all the wonders and mysteries surrounding the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, one fact remains. The burial mound is still a silent reminder of a past that we have yet to fully understand. The terracotta army may be admired by millions of visitors each year, but the emperor's actual tomb, resting in its secret chamber, stands untouched. Perhaps some secrets are meant to remain hidden, locked away beneath the earth, buried by time and history. Part 2. Lost Tomb of Genghis Khan. The Lost Tomb of Genghis Khan, the mystery that endures. As we venture deeper into the realms of history's greatest enigmas, we find ourselves in the vast, windswept plains of Mongolia. Here, a legend as old as time itself persists, the legend of Genghis Khan, the ruler who built the largest contiguous empire the world has ever known. Despite his monumental achievements, one question remains unanswered. Where is his final resting place? Genghis Khan died in 1227, but no one knows where he was buried. His tomb is perhaps the most elusive in history, despite his fame and the vastness of his empire. Unlike the opulent burial sites of Egypt or China, Genghis Khan's final resting place is shrouded in secrecy, its location completely unknown. For centuries, the hunt for his tomb has inspired numerous expeditions, but all have ended in failure. The mystery of Genghis Khan's tomb goes beyond just the physical location of the site. According to legend, Khan himself requested that his burial place remain a secret, ensuring that no trace would ever be left. The most compelling stories come from the people who accompanied him on his final journey. The Secret History of the Mongols, the oldest surviving chronicle of Mongol history, only mentions the year of his death and offers no clue as to his final resting place. Marco Polo, the Venetian explorer, wrote that even the Mongols themselves were unaware of the tomb's location. Various legends abound regarding the secrecy of the tomb's location. One of the most well-known stories is that after Genghis Khan's death, his body was carried back to Mongolia in absolute secrecy. Along the way, every person who encountered the procession was killed to prevent anyone from revealing the tomb's locations. Once the tomb was finished, 2,000 people who had helped with the burials were also executed to ensure that no one would ever be able to disclose its whereabouts. Some accounts even suggest that the burial site was deliberately concealed by diverting rivers and planting forests, while others speak of a young camel who, after its death, would return to mourn at the tomb, helping the descendants of Genghis Khan locate his resting place. In the modern era, the search for Genghis Khan's tomb has involved numerous high-tech methods, including satellite imagery and drone surveys. But despite the use of cutting-edge technology, no solid evidence has been found. Archaeologists and explorers have ventured into Mongolia's wildest, most remote regions, but they have encountered only a wall of resistance from the local residents, who consider the land sacred. The area where the tomb is believed to lie is near Burkhan Khaldun, a sacred mountain where Genghis Khan was said to have prayed before uniting the Mongol tribes. This unwillingness to disturb the land stems from the deep spiritual connection the Mongols have with their great leader. Genghis Khan is more than just a historical figure. He is a symbol of unity, strength, and freedom for the Mongolian people. His legacy is deeply embedded in the fabric of Mongolian culture, and his tomb is considered a holy site that must be respected and preserved. As a result, many believe that the location of the tomb is intentionally concealed to prevent any disrespect or disturbance. For centuries, theories have flourished about the treasures that lie within the tomb. Some believe that Genghis Khan's final resting place could hold unimaginable riches: gold, jewels, and artifacts from his vast empire that stretched from China to Persia. Others speculate that the tomb could contain sacred objects or lost technologies, remnants of an advanced civilization that once existed under his rule. The mystery surrounding his burial site has fueled endless theories about what might be hidden beneath the earth, and some even claim that the tomb could contain spiritual relics or ancient knowledge that could change the course of human history. However, it is not only the physical location of Genghis Khan's tomb that remains elusive. The tomb is also believed to hold a deeper cultural and historical significance. To the Mongolian people, Genghis Khan is not just a conqueror, but a leader who laid the foundation for many of the freedoms they hold dear today, such as religious freedom, a postal system, and even paper currency. The idea that his tomb could hold more than just material wealth, perhaps evidence of the wisdom and insight that guided his empire, is a tantalizing one. But the tomb's secrets remain firmly buried beneath the Mongolian steppe, perhaps forever. As the search for Genghis Khan's tomb continues, the mystery of his final resting place serves as a reminder of the immense power and influence one man can have on the course of history. While the physical tomb may be hidden, its story endures, a testament to the enduring legacy of Genghis Khan, a leader whose impact on the world is felt even to this day. Part 3. Giant of Castell and Lyu Caves Complex. The Giant of Castell, the mystery of ancient giants. In the winter of 1890, a remarkable discovery was made in a small village called Castell in southern France. The anthropologist Georges Vacher de Lauge unearthed 3 massive bone fragments from a burial mound dating back to the Bronze Age. These bones, which belonged to a person of extraordinary size, ignited a debate that continues to this day. Could these be the remains of a race of giants that once roamed the earth? The bones, which included parts of a femur, tibia, and an arm bone, were found to be much larger than the bones of any known human. The femur alone was 14 centimeters across, while the tibia measured 26 centimeters long. Based on these measurements, Lauge estimated that the individual would have stood around 3.5 meters tall, well over 11 feet. This was far beyond the height of even the tallest modern humans, leading to speculation about the existence of giants in ancient history. The discovery was remarkable, not only because of the size of the bones, but also because they seemed to be human in origin. Leading experts in zoology, paleontology, and anatomy examined the bones, and while some suggested that the remains could belong to an animal, such as a giant bear, others insisted that they were indeed human. This led to further controversy, especially when similar large bone fragments were later found near Melier, a village not far from Castell. Some reports claim that these bones came from individuals between 10 and 15 feet tall. However, these discoveries were not thoroughly examined, and they soon disappeared, leaving only the tantalizing mystery of what they could have been. Over time, the mystery of the Castell giant faded from the mainstream scientific conversation. In 2022, anthropologist Catherine Hakan suggested that the bones might simply be those of a giant prehistoric bear, a species that was once common in Europe but long since extinct. But if that were the case, why had the experts of the time confirmed them as human, and why, to this day, has no modern study been conducted on these bones to reassess their origin? The story of the Castell giant does not just pose questions for archaeology, but also brings us to the realm of myth and legend. Throughout history, nearly every culture has told tales of giants, beings of immense size who walked the earth long ago. From the Cyclopes of ancient Greece to the Nephilim of the Bible, these giants have persisted in folklore and religious texts. The bones found in Castell might be physical evidence of these legends, though many modern scholars dismiss the idea of giants as mere myth. Still, the mystery endures, and questions about the identity and nature of the Castell giant continue to intrigue both archaeologists and mythologists. In addition to the bones themselves, local legends continue to perpetuate the idea of giants in the region. Villagers in Castell have spoken of a cave that once housed a giant. The 19th century newspapers even reported that Lauge's discovery might be the key to unraveling the ancient myths of giants. Could the bones be the remnants of an ancient, unknown civilization? Or could they be something even more mysterious? Perhaps the remains of extraterrestrial visitors? Whatever the truth may be, the Giant of Castell remains a puzzle that has never been solved. The bones, which once sparked such excitement and speculation, have since disappeared, and modern research has not yet revisited the mystery. As a result, the story of the Castell giant continues to haunt the imaginations of those who ponder the possibilities of ancient history and the existence of beings beyond human understanding. Lyu Caves Complex, an underground city carved by unknown hands. Deep beneath the lush rice fields of Liu County in Xiang Province, China, lies one of the greatest archaeological mysteries of modern times, the Lyu Caves Complex. Discovered entirely by chance in the summer of 1992, when a local farmer drained a water pit to expand his property, this underground site has puzzled researchers ever since. What appeared to be a simple drainage project turned into a stunning revelation. Beneath the water lay an enormous underground cavern with perfectly flat stone walls, smooth and sculpted patterns, and an engineering style far beyond anything known to modern archaeology. The discovery sparked an immediate interest in the complex, and further excavations revealed a vast system of interconnected caves, over 20 in total. These caves, some reaching over 30 meters in height, have walls that are smooth as if they were shaped by modern machinery. Each cave is adorned with parallel, wave-like carvings that run in uninterrupted lines from the ceilings to the floors. The precision and scale of these carvings suggest a level of engineering expertise far beyond the capabilities of any known ancient civilization. Despite the clear signs of human craftsmanship, no artifacts or human remains have been found in the caves, and there is no evidence to suggest that anyone ever lived or labored there. The mystery deepens when one considers the age of the site. Archaeologists have dated the Liu Caves to be over 2,000 years old, potentially dating to the Qin or early Han dynasty. However, no historical records or ancient Chinese texts make any mention of the Liu Caves, leading many to wonder, how could such a grand and sophisticated complex vanish completely from the historical record? Several theories have been proposed to explain the purpose of the caves. Some suggest they were used as ancient grain storage facilities, while others believe they may have been wartime shelters or even forgotten royal tombs. A few Western researchers have speculated that the Liu Caves could have been a sacred site or a center for secret rituals. What is most striking about the complex is the apparent unity of design across all the caves, with identical carvings, suggesting that the project was executed under a single, organized direction, possibly by a lost civilization whose techniques and knowledge have been lost to time. The level of engineering and craftsmanship found in the Liu Caves raises fascinating questions about the civilizations that may have existed in ancient China long before the dynasties we know. Could this be the legacy of a civilization whose name has been forgotten? Or is it possible that the techniques used to carve these caves were far more advanced than those known to the historians and archaeologists of the time? The mystery of the Liu Caves complex challenges everything we think we know about ancient architecture, and it may very well be a clue to a past civilization that has been lost to history. Until more answers are uncovered, the Liu Caves will remain a silent reminder of the unknown past, standing as an enigma that continues to captivate the imaginations of those who seek to understand the true origins of human ingenuity. Part 4. Balbeck Megaliths and Devil's Bible. Balbeck Megaliths, the mystery of ancient engineering. Hidden within the Bekaa Valley of Lebanon lies one of the most perplexing architectural mysteries of the ancient world, the megalithic stones of Baalbek. These enormous stones, which form the foundation of the Temple of Jupiter, challenge everything we thought we knew about ancient engineering. Standing at the heart of this enigma are three massive blocks, each weighing between 750 and 800 tons. To put this into perspective, each block is nearly the size of a Boeing airliner, far larger than any stone structure believed to have been created by the Romans. What makes the Balbeck megaliths so mysterious is not just their sheer size, but the fact that they far exceed the capabilities of Roman engineering. The Romans, who are credited with some of the most impressive architectural feats of the ancient world, were known for their advanced construction techniques, including cranes and pulley systems. Yet, no records exist to explain how these enormous stones were transported or lifted into place. The standard tools used by the Romans, such as wooden rollers and earth ramps, would have been insufficient to move blocks of such massive weight. In addition to the three primary megalithic stones, even larger blocks have been discovered in the nearby quarry, where the stones were likely cut. Among these is a block known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, which weighs a staggering 1,000 tons, and another block that tips the scales at 1,242 tons. These blocks, some of which remain in the quarry, have only deepened the mystery of how ancient builders could have moved them. In 2014, archaeologists uncovered a stone weighing 1,650 tons, considered to be the largest known stone block ever cut. The sheer weight and size of these blocks defy conventional explanations. Some scholars have suggested that the Romans used advanced cranes, but such equipment would have been unable to lift these giant stones. Furthermore, there is no record of any tools or mechanisms that could have been used to transport stones of this magnitude. Could there have been an earlier civilization with knowledge and technology far more advanced than the Romans? Some researchers believe that the foundation of the Temple of Jupiter predates the Roman Empire and belongs to an ancient, more sophisticated culture whose techniques have been lost to time. Many theories abound about the purpose of the megalithic stones. Some suggest that they were part of an astronomical or religious site, while others believe they were used for ceremonial purposes. The alignment of the stones with celestial bodies echoes similar megalithic structures found around the world, such as the Egyptian pyramids and the fortress of Sacsayhuaman in Peru, leading some to speculate that ancient civilizations across the globe shared similar knowledge of astronomy and geometry. Despite decades of research, the mystery of Balbeck's megalithic stones remains unresolved. Theories about their origins, their purpose, and the techniques used to move them continue to spark debate among scholars. Until conclusive evidence is found, the massive stones of Baalbek will remain a testament to the mysteries that still lie hidden in the ancient world, challenging our understanding of what was possible in the distant past. The Devil's Bible, a manuscript of dark legends. One of the most chilling and enigmatic artifacts of the medieval world is the Codex Gigas, also known as the Devil's Bible. This enormous manuscript, weighing nearly 75 kilograms and measuring 92 cm in length, 50 centimeters in width, and 22 centimeters in thickness, is considered the largest surviving medieval manuscript in the world. Its sheer size alone is enough to captivate the imagination, but it is the dark legends surrounding it that have made the Codex Gigas a symbol of mystery and intrigue. The Codex Gigas is a work of incredible complexity, containing not only the complete Latin Bible, but also texts on history, anatomy, magic, astrology, and even a catalog of demons and spells. Its pages are carefully written in an elegant script, with an unbroken consistency across all 620 pages, suggesting that it was produced by a single hand over many years. However, it is the image of Satan, painted in vivid detail on the manuscript's largest page, that has garnered the most attention. This haunting portrayal of the devil, with glowing eyes, a red tongue, and sharp claws, is unlike anything found in other biblical manuscripts, and it has led to numerous theories about the manuscript's origins. According to legend, the Codex Gigas was written by a Benedictine monk in Bohemia, now the Czech Republic, during the early 13th century. The monk, who had committed a grave sin, was sentenced to be walled up alive in his monastery as punishment. Desperate to avoid his fate, he promised that he would create a manuscript containing all human knowledge in a single night. Realizing the task was impossible, the monk is said to have turned to the devil for help, offering his soul in exchange for the devil's assistance. The manuscript was completed in a single night, and as a token of gratitude, the monk supposedly painted a portrait of Satan in the middle of the book. While this tale is widely regarded as a legend, modern scholars have determined that the Codex Gigas was likely completed over a much longer period, probably at the Podlace Monastery in the 13th century. However, the story of the monk's pact with the devil continues to fuel the manuscript's mystique. The Codex Gigas is filled with unsettling imagery, including the depiction of demons, the apocalypse, and other dark themes that have led many to believe the manuscript was cursed. The Codex Gigas has a fascinating and tumultuous history. During the 30 Years' War, Swedish forces seized the manuscript as a prize, and it has remained in Sweden's National Library since 1648. Over the centuries, the book has been associated with a number of disasters and misfortunes, leading some to believe that it is indeed cursed. Throughout its history, the Codex Gigas has witnessed wars, plagues, and the collapse of dynasties, further cementing its place as a symbol of dark, mysterious power. The manuscript itself continues to be an object of fascination for scholars and mystery seekers alike. Some believe that it contains forbidden knowledge or hidden prophecies that could shed light on secrets of the past. Others speculate that the Devil's Bible was designed to serve as a tool of magical power, used by those who believed in its dark forces. Regardless of its true origins, the Codex Gigas remains one of the most haunting and mysterious artifacts ever created, holding its secrets tightly within its pages and continuing to provoke curiosity and fear among those who seek to uncover its dark past. Part 5. Gobekli Tepe and White Pyramid of China. Gobekli Tepe, the world's oldest temple, located in the remote hills of southeastern Turkey, Gobekli Tepe stands as one of the most mind-boggling discoveries in the history of archaeology. This ancient site, believed to date back over 11,000 years, is challenging our entire understanding of human history. The discovery of Gobekli Tepe has forced historians and archaeologists to rethink the origins of civilization itself. This site, which predates the construction of Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids by thousands of years, is not just an archaeological wonder. It is a paradigm shift in our understanding of the past. Gobekli Tepe is thought to have been a religious or ceremonial center, constructed by hunter-gatherers long before the advent of farming or settled life. The site consists of massive stone pillars arranged in intricate circles, with some of the stones weighing as much as 10 tons. These stones are adorned with carvings of animals, lions, wild cattle, foxes, and snakes, as well as mysterious, abstract symbols that remain undeciphered. The complexity of the site's design and the craftsmanship of the carvings suggest a level of organization and skill far beyond what would be expected from hunter-gatherer societies. The mystery of Gobekli Tepe lies not just in its age and design, but in its purpose. The site was intentionally buried around 8000 BC, and its secrets remained hidden beneath the earth for millennia. Why would such a remarkable structure be buried? Was it to preserve its sanctity, or was it deliberately hidden from future generations? Some researchers believe that the burial of Gobekli Tepe was an act of ritual significance, possibly to protect the site from desecration, or to mark the end of its use. What is perhaps most intriguing about Gobekli Tepe is the fact that it challenges everything we know about the rise of complex societies. The traditional narrative suggests that agriculture and the development of permanent settlements were necessary for the rise of monumental architecture and religious centers. Yet, Gobekli Tepe was constructed by people who had not yet adopted farming. These early hunter-gatherers must have had extraordinary social and organizational structures to pull off such an ambitious project. How did they transport and erect such massive stones? How did they organize the labor needed to build the site? These questions remain unanswered. Adding to the allure of Gobekli Tepe, some have even speculated that Gobekli Tepe could be the remains of a lost civilization with advanced knowledge and technologies that have long since been forgotten. The carvings at the site, particularly the depictions of animals, suggest that the builders may have had a deep understanding of the natural world. The symbolism embedded in the pillars could point to religious or spiritual beliefs that are now lost to history. Despite the many mysteries surrounding Gobekli Tepe, one thing is certain. This ancient site is rewriting the history of human civilization. It shows that the origins of complex societies may be far older and more sophisticated than we ever imagined. Gobekli Tepe stands as a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of early humans, and the mystery of its purpose continues to captivate researchers and explorers alike. White Pyramid of China, a hidden monument of power. Deep in the mountains of Shaanxi province in China, a colossal pyramid stands hidden beneath centuries of dust and mystery, the White Pyramid. This pyramid, first reported by American pilots in the mid-20th century, has sparked intense debate among archaeologists and explorers. The legends surrounding the White Pyramid have only fueled speculation about its true origins and purpose, with some even suggesting that it could be the largest pyramid ever constructed. In 1945, during a routine transport flight, American pilot James Gaussman reportedly saw a massive pyramid in the valley below. Its four faces gleamed white, standing out against the rugged mountainside. 2 years later, in 1947, another pilot named Maurice Shahan confirmed Gaussman's report, and even managed to take a few blurry photographs of the pyramid. When these reports reached the West, they caused a sensation among archaeologists and historians, who were eager to uncover the truth behind the mysterious structure. However, as the years went by, access to the region became increasingly restricted, and China's borders closed to foreign researchers. The site of the White Pyramid fell under tight control, and only a handful of local scholars were allowed to investigate it. Despite the secrecy surrounding the pyramid, satellite images released by both Western and Russian sources in recent years have revealed pyramid-like structures scattered across the mountainous region of Shaanxi, some reaching heights of up to 100 meters or more, much larger than the pyramids of Egypt. The most intriguing aspect of the White Pyramid is its legend. According to local traditions, the pyramid was once covered in a layer of white limestone or clay, which reflected the sun's rays, making the structure appear almost otherworldly. Some scholars have compared the White Pyramid to the Great Pyramid of Giza, suggesting that it could be even larger, with an estimated height of 300 meters and a base perimeter of more than 450 meters. So who built this enormous pyramid, and why? While some archaeologists believe that it may be the burial site of Chinese emperors, built as a statement of absolute power, others speculate that the White Pyramid could be the relic of a much older civilization, one that predated recorded Chinese history. There are even more radical theories suggesting that the White Pyramid served as an astronomical or religious site, possibly linked to ancient Chinese spiritual practices or celestial observatories. Despite the many theories, one fact remains undeniable. The White Pyramid has yet to be fully explored. The Chinese government has been reluctant to allow foreign researchers access to the site, citing national security concerns. As a result, the true nature and purpose of the White Pyramid remain shrouded in mystery. Could this be the monument of a forgotten civilization? Or is it simply another chapter in the long history of China's emperors? As satellite images and covert expeditions continue to reveal more about the White Pyramid, the mystery only deepens. What secrets does this ancient structure hold, and why has it been kept hidden for so long? Perhaps one day, the shroud of secrecy surrounding the White Pyramid will lift, revealing the truth about this extraordinary monument to power, history, and mystery. Part 6. Black Sarcophagus of Alexandria and Piri Rice Map. Black Sarcophagus of Alexandria, an enigmatic tomb. In the summer of 2018, a construction site in Alexandria, Egypt, was the unlikely setting for one of the most sensational archaeological discoveries of the 21st century. While workers were clearing the ground for a new building, they unearthed a massive black granite sarcophagus. This sarcophagus, measuring nearly 2.7 meters long and weighing around 30 tons, is one of the largest ever found in Egypt, and its discovery set off a wave of speculation and excitement. The sarcophagus was completely unadorned, with no inscriptions or carvings typically found on royal or noble tombs. Instead, it was a simple, imposing block of black granite, leading to immediate speculation about its occupant. Why would such an enormous sarcophagus be used for someone whose identity remains a mystery? Some wondered if this could be the final resting place of a significant historical figure, perhaps even Alexander the Great himself, the founder of Alexandria, and one of the greatest conquerors in history. What made the discovery even more eerie was the fact that the sarcophagus was sealed tightly, and experts had to use modern equipment to carefully open it. The anticipation grew, and when the lid was finally lifted, a foul odor filled the air, suggesting that the tomb had been exposed to the elements for centuries. And inside, researchers found not the mummified remains of a king or noble, but rather the skeletons of 3 individuals, 2 men and a woman. None of the remains were adorned with the elaborate burial goods or signs of royalty expected from a tomb of this magnitude. Forensic analysis quickly revealed that the 3 individuals had died around the 4th century BCE, which corresponds with the period when Alexandria was at its peak. However, the presence of skull fractures on one of the individuals suggested a violent death, possibly from warfare or some other form of trauma. This discovery further deepened the mystery. Who were these individuals, and why were they buried in such an elaborate sarcophagus, only to be stripped of their identities? Despite the excitement surrounding the tomb's discovery, there was no sign of treasure or valuable artifacts, things typically found in royal tombs. The absence of inscriptions only fueled the mystery, leading to theories that the sarcophagus might have been used for a more clandestine purpose, such as the final resting place of individuals whose names or roles in history were deliberately erased. The use of black granite itself is significant, as this material would have required great effort to transport from Aswan, hundreds of miles away. Rumors began to spread, as they often do in the world of archaeology. Some speculated that the tomb might be connected to a royal family, while others suggested that it belonged to a group of powerful individuals whose significance had been erased from history. There was even talk of an ancient curse, echoing the legends of Tutankhamun's tomb, that would bring misfortune to anyone who disturbed the sacred resting place. The discovery of the black sarcophagus ignited imaginations and fueled endless questions about the fate of the tomb's occupants and why their legacy was hidden. In the end, the Black Sarcophagus of Alexandria stands as one of Egypt's most enigmatic finds, a silent, unmarked tomb containing the remains of unknown individuals. The mystery of its contents and the circumstances surrounding its use continue to captivate both archaeologists and enthusiasts. Perhaps one day the tomb will yield more clues to uncover the identities of its inhabitants. Until then, the Black Sarcophagus remains a symbol of the unknown, a reminder that even in the world's most studied ancient civilizations, secrets still lie buried, waiting to be revealed. Piri Reis Map, an ancient map of unbelievable accuracy. In the early 16th century, a Turkish admiral named Piri Reis created a map that would leave modern historians and cartographers scratching their heads for centuries. The map, known as the Piri Reis Map, has intrigued researchers since it was first discovered in 1929. It is drawn on a piece of parchment and is famous not only for its exceptional accuracy but also for the startling detail it provides about the geography of the world, especially a region that would not be mapped by modern explorers for several more centuries. Antarctica. The Piri Reis map, created in 1513, shows the western coast of Africa, the eastern coast of South America, and most astonishingly, the northernmost part of Antarctica, a continent that was not discovered by modern humans until the early 19th century. What is even more perplexing is that the map depicts Antarctica as it would have looked before it was covered in ice, suggesting that Piri Reis, or the sources he used, had access to ancient knowledge that was far ahead of its time. According to Piri Reis's own notes, the map was compiled using over 20 ancient maps from the Greek and Roman periods, as well as some maps from the voyages of Christopher Columbus. However, there are no known ancient maps that depict Antarctica, especially not before it was covered in ice. The accuracy of the coastlines and the detailed portrayal of the continent's shape have led some to speculate that Piri Reis had access to ancient, lost knowledge, perhaps even from a civilization that existed long before recorded history. The question that has intrigued researchers for centuries is, how could a 16th century admiral produce such an accurate map, especially given the limited geographical knowledge available at the time? Some theorists suggest that Piri Reis inherited ancient knowledge passed down from a much older civilization, perhaps one that possessed advanced surveying techniques far beyond what was known to the rest of the world. Could this lost civilization have been Atlantis, the fabled city described by Plato? Other theories propose that the map was simply a patchwork of existing knowledge, with some inaccuracies and exaggerations added to make the map more impressive. According to this view, the map could have been the result of a combination of imagination and older, perhaps partially fictional, sources. Still, this theory does not explain the stunning accuracy of the map's depiction of Antarctica, which should not have been accessible to any known civilization at that time. Despite the many theories, the true origin of the Piri Reis map remains a mystery. While it may not hold the answers to questions about lost civilizations or ancient surveying techniques, it is an important reminder of the limitations of human knowledge and the enduring mysteries that still elude us. The Piri Reis map continues to fascinate historians, scientists, and conspiracy theorists alike, leaving us with more questions than answers. Perhaps the most intriguing mystery is why this ancient map exists in the first place. Was it an artifact of a forgotten civilization, or simply the work of a highly skilled cartographer drawing from the best available sources? As the map remains housed in the Topkapi Palace Museum in Istanbul, it challenges us to rethink the boundaries of historical knowledge. It stands as a testament to the power of curiosity, exploration, and the mysteries that continue to haunt humanity's quest for understanding. Part 7. Vanishing of Clovis People and Roshank Codex. The vanishing of the Clovis people, an ancient mystery. Around 13,000 years ago, a sophisticated group of people known as the Clovis people inhabited North America. They are recognized for their advanced stone tools, especially their distinctive spear points, which have been found throughout the continent. These sharp, finely crafted points suggest that the Clovis people were highly skilled hunters, who relied on tools made of stone to bring down large game, such as mammoths and giant deer. But what happened to them? Why did the Clovis culture suddenly disappear from the archaeological record? The first evidence of the Clovis people was discovered in the 1930s in Clovis, New Mexico, and quickly became one of the most significant finds in North American archaeology. Their spear points were so well crafted that they set a new standard for understanding prehistoric life. The Clovis people were thought to have arrived in North America via the Bering Land Bridge from Siberia around 13,000 years ago, and they spread across the continent, leaving behind their tools and the remains of their hunted animals. However, the Clovis culture disappeared from the archaeological record around 1,000 years after it had reached its peak. This sudden disappearance has sparked intense debate among researchers, and the reasons behind it remain unclear. Some theories suggest that dramatic climate change at the end of the Ice Age may have led to the extinction of the large animals the Clovis people relied on for food, causing their way of life to collapse. Another theory posits that a meteorite impact, or a series of comet fragments, might have triggered widespread wildfires and climate disruptions, leading to the rapid extinction of the Clovis people. This hypothesis is supported by the discovery of cosmic glass and carbon dust at several Clovis sites, which could be evidence of a massive cosmic event. Evidence of widespread fires at the time of their disappearance further supports this theory, but definitive proof has yet to be found. Alternatively, some scholars believe that the Clovis people may not have vanished entirely, but instead migrated to other regions, adapting to new environments and evolving into different cultures. The evidence for this theory is scarce, but it raises the possibility that the Clovis people may have continued their existence in a different form, adapting to the changing world around them. The disappearance of the Clovis people is one of the greatest mysteries of prehistory, offering a stark reminder of the fragility of civilizations. Despite the many theories, we may never know the exact cause of their vanishing. What we do know is that their disappearance marks a turning point in the history of human settlement in North America, and it continues to inspire archaeological research and exploration today. Perhaps, in the end, the story of the Clovis people is not just about their sudden disappearance, but also about the resilience of human cultures in the face of environmental and social change. Rohank Codex, the enigma of an unreadable manuscript. Hidden away in the archives of a small library in Hungary lies a manuscript that has baffled researchers for nearly 2 centuries, the Rohank Codex. This mysterious book, which was discovered in the early 19th century in the town of Rohank, contains over 400 pages filled with symbols that no one has been able to decipher. Despite years of attempts by linguists, cryptographers, and historians, the language of the Rohank Codex remains an enigma, with no known equivalent in any language or ancient script. The codex is filled with intricate illustrations, many of which depict scenes of daily life, religious rituals, and warfare. Some of the images seem to have elements that are reminiscent of Christianity, while others feature symbols of Islam and paganism, further complicating the mystery of the manuscript's origin. The strange combination of religious symbols suggests that the codex may have been created by a secret sect or religious group whose beliefs and practices were hidden from the outside world. What makes the Rohank Codex even more perplexing is its use of an entirely unknown script. The symbols on the pages do not correspond to any known alphabet or language, and despite the best efforts of scholars, no one has been able to crack the code. Some researchers believe that the codex may have been an elaborate hoax, created in the 19th century as a challenge to the intellectual community. Others suggest that it could be a genuine artifact from an ancient religious group, possibly a forgotten community, whose beliefs have been lost to history. Over the decades, various theories have been proposed about the origin and purpose of the Rohank Codex. Some believe it could have been a prayer book, created by a secret sect to preserve their religious teachings and rituals. Others speculate that it was a manuscript created by an ancient civilization designed to protect sacred knowledge from outsiders. Still, others think it may have been a type of ritualistic or magical text used by those who believed in the power of the symbols and illustrations to invoke spiritual forces. Despite the countless hours of research dedicated to the codex, it remains a mystery. Linguists and cryptographers have used every technique at their disposal, from modern linguistic analysis to digital technology. But the book refuses to yield a single line of meaning. The symbols within the codex continue to defy explanation, leaving the manuscript as one of the greatest unsolved puzzles in the world of ancient texts. As technology advances and new tools are developed, it is possible that the mystery of the Rohank Codex will one day be solved. Until then, the codex stands as a symbol of the limits of human knowledge and the mysteries that still remain hidden in the world's archives. Could it be the work of a lost civilization, or merely the product of a 19th century hoax? The truth may never be known, but the codex remains a fascinating and perplexing artifact, guarding its secrets for future generations to unravel. Part 8. Stone Spheres of Costa Rica and Doggerland. Stone Spheres of Costa Rica, a mystery in the jungle. In the tropical forests of Costa Rica, hundreds of perfectly spherical stones lie scattered across the landscape. These stones, known as the Diqui spheres, are one of the greatest mysteries of pre-Columbian America. Some of these spheres weigh as much as 16 tons and measure up to 2 meters in diameter, yet there is no clear explanation as to why they were created or how they were transported across the dense jungle landscape. The first stone spheres were discovered in the 1930s when workers were clearing land for banana plantations. At first glance, they might appear to be nothing more than natural formations, but their perfect roundness and the smoothness of their surfaces immediately caught the attention of archaeologists. The spheres were crafted from a type of stone called granodiorite, a dense and hard material that would have required significant effort and skill to carve and transport, especially given that the ancient people of Costa Rica had no metal tools. The spheres vary greatly in size, from small ones that fit in the palm of your hand to massive boulders weighing several tons. They are found in a range of locations, particularly in the Diquis Delta, where many of the spheres are arranged in clusters, often in front of ancient settlements or at the entrances of homes belonging to the elite. The arrangement of the spheres has led some researchers to speculate that they may have had astronomical or religious significance, perhaps marking the boundaries of settlements, or representing celestial bodies in some form of ancient calendar. Despite their widespread presence, no written records or oral histories exist that explain the purpose or the method of construction for these stones. Archaeologists have put forth several theories, from their use as symbols of power or wealth to the possibility that they were linked to ritualistic practices. One popular theory is that they were intended to represent the cosmos, with the spheres serving as a representation of the universe itself. Another theory suggests they were used as markers for sacred or ceremonial spaces, perhaps aligned with the stars or the sun to mark important dates in the Mesoamerican calendar. What remains most perplexing about the Diquis spheres is how a society without the wheel or metal tools could create such perfect spheres with such precision. The people who crafted them, known as the Diquis culture, flourished between 600 AD and the 16th century. Yet despite their remarkable achievements, the Diquis culture disappeared mysteriously long before the Spanish arrived in the region. The reason for their disappearance is still unknown, but it adds to the mystique of the spheres, as their creators left behind no clear explanation for their meaning or purpose. In recent years, efforts have been made to preserve and study these ancient artifacts, as many of the spheres have been moved, damaged, or destroyed over the decades. Today, some of the spheres are protected as part of Costa Rica's cultural heritage, with the government and UNESCO working to ensure their conservation. Still, the question of why they were created and how they were transported remains unresolved. The Diquis spheres continue to captivate the imagination, challenging our understanding of ancient craftsmanship and leaving us with more questions than answers. Doggerland, the lost world beneath the North Sea. Imagine a time when the North Sea was not a vast expanse of water, but fertile land, rich with forests, rivers, and meadows. This land, known as Doggerland, once connected what is now Britain, the European mainland, creating a lush, green landscape that was home to ancient hunter-gatherers. Thousands of years ago, Doggerland was a thriving environment, teeming with wildlife and human activity. But today, it lies submerged beneath the waves of the North Sea, a forgotten world lost to history. Doggerland stretched from what is now Scotland to the Netherlands, and was inhabited by prehistoric people who lived in a world where mammoths roamed the land and rivers teemed with fish. The inhabitants of Doggerland were part of a Mesolithic culture, hunting large game, fishing, and foraging for wild plants. They left behind tools, animal bones, and traces of their settlements, which have been discovered by archaeologists and researchers who have scoured the seabed in search of evidence of this lost world. The mystery of Doggerland's disappearance lies in the gradual rise of sea levels following the end of the last ice age, around 10,000 years ago. As the glaciers melted, the land began to sink, and Doggerland was slowly submerged beneath the rising waters of the North Sea. Around 8,200 years ago, a massive tsunami triggered by the Sturga submarine landslide swept across the region, flooding the land and submerging what remained of Doggerland. The people who lived there were forced to migrate to higher ground, and the once fertile land was lost forever. What makes the story of Doggerland so fascinating is the lack of clear understanding about the people who lived there. Unlike other ancient civilizations, such as those in Mesopotamia or Egypt, the people of Doggerland left behind no written records or monumental structures. Instead, we are left with a scattered collection of artifacts, including tools, animal bones, and even fossilized footprints, which have been recovered from the seabed by divers and researchers. The loss of Doggerland has sparked numerous debates about its significance. Some have speculated that the sinking of Doggerland could have been the inspiration for the legend of Atlantis, as the parallels between the two lost lands are striking. Both were rich, fertile regions, and both were ultimately lost to rising waters. Could the story of Doggerland be the basis for the ancient myth of Atlantis, or is it simply a coincidence? Today, researchers continue to explore the remnants of Doggerland, using seismic data, sonar scans, and underwater archaeology to map the landscape that once existed. In 2019, a submerged forest was discovered beneath the waters of the North Sea, offering new hope that more settlements and artifacts may be preserved in the mud and silt. While much has been learned about Doggerland's environment and its people, many questions remain about the role it played in the broader context of prehistoric Europe. As sea levels continue to rise and climate change accelerates, the story of Doggerland is a stark reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human civilization. It also serves as a warning about the potential consequences of environmental change, as ancient lands and cultures may be lost once again beneath the rising waters. Part 9. Unfinished Obelisk of Aswan and Kyasa Temple. Unfinished Obelisk of Aswan, a monument to ancient ambition. In the northern quarries of Aswan, Egypt, a massive granite obelisk lies half-carved, abandoned by the ancient Egyptians over 3,500 years ago. This unfinished obelisk is a testament to the ambition of the ancient Egyptian builders, and a mystery that has puzzled archaeologists for centuries. Intended to be a grand monument, the obelisk would have stood at an incredible 41.75 meters tall, more than double the height of standard obelisks like those found in Luxor or Karnak. However, a mysterious crack appeared in the stone during its construction, causing the project to be abandoned, leaving behind one of the most fascinating enigmas of ancient Egypt. The unfinished obelisk is remarkable not just for its size, but for the insight it provides into the methods used by the ancient Egyptians to carve such monumental stones. Archaeologists have discovered that workers used copper tools and abrasive materials to pound and smooth the granite, a technique that would have been incredibly labor-intensive. Additionally, small holes were drilled along the intended cutting lines, and wooden wedges were inserted. Water was then poured over the wedges, causing the wood to expand and crack the stone along the desired path, a clever technique that helps separate the obelisk from the bedrock. Despite the ingenuity involved, the obelisk was never completed. Scholars have long debated why the project was abandoned. Some suggest that the crack in the granite was caused by a quarrying error, while others believe that the stone's natural flaws made it unsuitable for further work. However, bolder theories have emerged, proposing that the obelisk was abandoned due to a catastrophic event, such as an earthquake or a political crisis during the reign of Queen Hatshepsut, who is often associated with the monument's creation. Another theory suggests that the obelisk may be linked to ancient Egyptian cosmology. Its design was said to resemble the primordial mound from which the world was created in Egyptian mythology, symbolizing the creation of the universe by the sun god Atum. The unfinished obelisk, with its towering height and symbolic connection to the ancient myths, may have been intended as a cosmic beacon, an offering to the gods that was never completed. Despite these intriguing theories, no definitive explanation has been found for why the obelisk was left unfinished. Some have even suggested that it could represent a spiritual message or a curse that brought the project to a halt. The unfinished obelisk stands as a monument to ancient Egyptian ambition, a reminder that even the greatest civilizations had their limits, and that sometimes, even the most grandiose projects can fall short of completion. What remains is a colossal stone structure that continues to inspire wonder and speculation, reminding us of the ancient Egyptians' determination to reach beyond their time and achieve greatness. Kyasa Temple, a monument carved from stone. Hidden within the Ellora cave complex in Maharashtra, India, lies one of the world's most extraordinary architectural feats, Kyasa Temple. Unlike the Egyptian pyramids, which were built by stacking millions of stones, Kyasa Temple was carved entirely out of a single massive basalt rock. This awe-inspiring structure, built during the 8th century under the rule of King Krishna, the first of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, is the largest monolithic stone structure in the world and one of the most impressive examples of ancient Indian architecture. Kyasa Temple stands 30 meters high and stretches 300 meters in length, spanning an impressive width of 175 meters. The temple is surrounded by a U-shaped courtyard, plunging 50 meters deep into the rock. The scale and intricacy of the carvings are beyond imagination. Every surface of the temple is adorned with detailed sculptures depicting scenes from Hindu mythology, including images of deities such as Shiva and Vishnu. One of the most famous carvings shows the demon king Ravana attempting to lift Mount Kailasa, the abode of Shiva, a masterpiece of Indian art. The construction of Kailasa Temple is all the more remarkable when you consider the technology available at the time. Unlike the Egyptians, who had access to advanced tools like copper and bronze, the craftsmen who built Kailasa used only hammers and chisels to carve the temple from the solid basalt rock. The fact that they started carving from the top down, an unusual method that goes against conventional building practices, only adds to the mystery. It is estimated that more than 400,000 tons of rock were removed to create the temple, a feat that would be difficult even for modern construction methods. Some researchers have speculated that the construction of Kailasa Temple may have been part of a larger, forgotten civilization. The sheer scale of the project suggests that it required a highly organized society with specialized craftsmen, architects, and laborers. The presence of nearly 30 million Sanskrit characters carved into the temple's walls, many of which remain untranslated, only adds to the mystery. Could these inscriptions be hiding messages from the past, spiritual teachings, historical records, or forgotten knowledge? The legend of Kailasa Temple adds another layer of intrigue. According to local folklore, the queen of the kingdom vowed to fast until the temple's tower was completed, believing that it would cure her husband's illness. The architect, a man named Kukasa, promised to finish the tower in just 1 week. Despite the immense challenge, he began carving from the top down, and in an astonishingly short period of just 18 years, the temple was completed. This legend suggests that the temple's construction may have been driven by a spiritual or religious mission, adding a mystical element to its already impressive architectural achievements. But despite its grandiosity, Kailasa Temple has also faced threats to its survival. In the 17th century, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb ordered the destruction of the temple, believing it to be a symbol of Hindu power. Though the attempt was unsuccessful, the temple suffered damage, and parts of its carvings were destroyed. Today, Kailasa stands as a testament to the power and creativity of its builders, as well as a reminder of the fragility of human achievement. The mystery of Kailasa Temple continues to captivate researchers and visitors alike. Was it the product of an ancient, highly advanced civilization, or was it simply the work of skilled craftsmen from a distant past? Whatever the answer, Kailasa Temple remains an enduring symbol of human ingenuity, a magnificent structure carved from the earth itself, and a mystery that challenges our understanding of ancient history. Part 10. Lost Library of Alexandria and Roman Dodecahedrons. The Lost Library of Alexandria, the greatest intellectual tragedy. The Library of Alexandria, once the most famous and comprehensive library of the ancient world, has become a symbol of the fragility of knowledge and the devastating consequences of its loss. Located in the Egyptian city of Alexandria, this monumental institution was not only a library, but also a center for learning, science, and philosophy. It housed works by some of the greatest thinkers of the ancient world: Homer, Plato, Aristotle, and many others, and was a beacon of intellectual life for centuries. Founded during the reign of Ptolemy II Philadelphus in the 3rd century BCE, the Library of Alexandria is believed to have contained anywhere between 200,000 and 700,000 scrolls, making it the largest library in the world at the time. Its collections were unparalleled, ranging from scientific texts to literary works, and its librarians were tasked with collecting knowledge from across the known world. The library was part of the Mausoleum, a temple dedicated to the Muses, where scholars gathered to discuss ideas, perform research, and teach. However, despite its grandeur and intellectual significance, the fate of the Library of Alexandria is a tragic one. Over the centuries, the library suffered from a series of devastating events, including fires, wars, and political upheaval. The most famous account of its destruction comes from Julius Caesar's campaign in 48 BCE, during which a fire spread to the library, possibly destroying a significant portion of its collection. Some historians believe that the fire may have wiped out as many as 40,000 scrolls, though the true extent of the damage remains unclear. But the library's decline did not end with Caesar's fire. In the 4th century CE, when Christianity became the dominant religion of the Roman Empire, the library suffered further blows. Emperor Theodosius I issued decrees to destroy pagan temples, and the Serapeum, which housed a daughter library of Alexandria, was destroyed. The library's final destruction is often attributed to the Muslim conquest of Alexandria in 642 CE, though this account is debated by many historians. Some suggest that the library's demise was a gradual process, with the intellectual center of Alexandria fading as the city lost its prominence. The loss of the Library of Alexandria is considered one of the greatest intellectual tragedies in human history. The text contained within it could have provided invaluable insights into ancient science, literature, and philosophy. The library was also a place where scholars from different cultures and backgrounds came together, exchanging ideas that might have propelled human progress forward. What knowledge was lost in the flames of the library, and how would our world be different had it been preserved? Despite the various theories about its destruction, the story of the Library of Alexandria reminds us of the fragile nature of knowledge and the importance of preserving our intellectual heritage. Today, the library stands as a symbol of the power of books and the written word. It serves as a poignant reminder that knowledge, once lost, is incredibly difficult to recover. Roman dodecahedrons, the mysterious objects of the Roman Empire. Throughout Europe, from England to Hungary and Switzerland, more than 130 mysterious objects known as Roman dodecahedrons have been found, and yet their purpose remains a complete mystery. These 12-sided objects, made from bronze or stone, have baffled archaeologists and historians for centuries. Each face of the dodecahedron is a regular pentagon, with a circular hole in the center of each face, and knobs protruding from the corners. Their unusual design and perfect craftsmanship suggest that they were far more than mere curiosities. The size of the Roman dodecahedrons varies greatly, with some as small as a golf ball and others as large as a grapefruit. They were often found in groups, sometimes alongside coins or other valuable objects, which led some researchers to believe they may have had some form of monetary or ceremonial value. Despite their consistent shape and size, however, there is no record or mention of dodecahedrons in Roman texts, which has led many scholars to speculate about their true purpose. Several theories have been proposed to explain the function of these enigmatic objects. One of the most widely discussed ideas is that the dodecahedrons were used in religious rituals. Some scholars believe that they were part of a sacred practice, possibly used to communicate with the gods or to measure certain celestial or cosmic events. Others suggest that they could have been used as tools for divination, perhaps allowing the ancient Romans to predict future events or interpret omens. Another theory proposes that the dodecahedrons were used for more practical purposes. Some believe that they were measuring instruments, designed to calculate distance on the battlefield or to measure the angle of sunlight for agricultural purposes. However, the irregularities in their size and the lack of standardization cast doubt on this theory, as it would have been difficult to use such objects for precise measurements. Despite the lack of evidence supporting any single theory, the Roman dodecahedrons continue to intrigue researchers. Their mysterious function, and the absence of any written records describing them, make them one of the most perplexing artifacts of the Roman Empire. Some have even speculated that the dodecahedrons could have been connected to secret rituals or forbidden practices, explaining why they were not mentioned in Roman literature. Today, Roman dodecahedrons can be found in museums across Europe, from the Lincoln Museum in England to the Gallo-Roman Museum in Belgium. Each object is a reminder of the many mysteries still hidden in the ancient world, waiting to be unraveled. Were these objects used for religious ceremonies, or were they tools for practical purposes? The truth may never be known, but the mystery of the Roman dodecahedrons remains one of history's most intriguing unsolved puzzles. Part 11. Dead Sea Scrolls and Moving Stones of Death Valley. Dead Sea Scrolls, ancient texts from a hidden cave. In 1947, a shepherd boy searching for a lost goat near the Dead Sea made a discovery that would change the course of biblical and archaeological studies forever. He threw a rock into a cave, and the sound of pottery breaking led him to a hidden cache of ancient scrolls, wrapped in clay jars and preserved by the dry desert air. This discovery marked the beginning of a long and complex journey to uncover what is now considered one of the greatest archaeological finds of the 20th century. The Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls, found in 11 caves near the Qumran region along the western shore of the Dead Sea, consist of over 900 manuscripts, some nearly 2,000 years old. They include texts from the Hebrew Bible, as well as numerous non-biblical writings, including sectarian texts, legal documents, and hymns. These scrolls provide an unparalleled glimpse into the religious, social, and cultural life of the Jewish people during the Second Temple period, around the time of the birth of Christianity. The significance of the Dead Sea Scrolls lies not only in their age, but also in the insights they offer into early Judaism and the development of biblical texts. Among the most important discoveries were scrolls that contain nearly every book of the Hebrew Bible, including previously unknown versions of the Old Testament. The oldest of these texts, dating back to the 3rd century BCE, predate the earliest known manuscripts of the Hebrew Bible by over 1,000 years, offering scholars a unique opportunity to compare ancient biblical texts. But the mystery surrounding the Dead Sea Scrolls does not stop with their content. The scrolls were hidden in caves, most likely by a Jewish sect known as the Essenes, who lived near Qumran. Some believe that the scrolls were hidden to protect them from the Roman armies that destroyed the Second Temple in 70 CE. The reasons for their concealment remain a topic of debate. Were they hidden to protect sacred knowledge, or were they buried in preparation for a coming messianic age? One of the most curious and mysterious texts found among the Dead Sea Scrolls is the Copper Scroll, which lists 64 locations where treasures of gold and silver are supposedly hidden. Despite extensive searching, no one has ever found the treasure described in the Copper Scroll. The mystery of this hidden wealth adds to the allure of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and many have speculated about the nature of the treasure. Was it the wealth of the Jewish temple, or perhaps a secret hoard hidden by the Essenes? The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls not only reshaped our understanding of the Bible, but also opened a window into a turbulent period in Jewish history. These texts, some of which had remained hidden for nearly 2 millennia, have helped scholars unlock the complexities of early Judaism and its relationship with Christianity. As research on the scrolls continues, more mysteries and revelations may come to light. But for now, the Dead Sea Scrolls stand as a profound reminder of the hidden depths of human history and the stories that remain buried in the sands of time. Moving Stones of Death Valley, the mystery of the racetrack playa. In the barren heart of Death Valley, California, lies a curious geological phenomenon that has baffled scientists for over a century. On the cracked, dry surface of the racetrack playa, large stones appear to move on their own, leaving long trails behind them in the mud. These walking stones have perplexed researchers, as no one has ever witnessed them moving, yet the evidence of their movement is undeniable. How could these stones move across the desert floor without any visible force? For years, this question remained unanswered, and many theories were proposed, ranging from the scientific to the supernatural. The racetrack playa, a dry lakebed in the northern part of Death Valley National Park, is the site of this incredible natural phenomenon. The stones, some of which weigh over 300 kilograms, leave tracks in the mud that vary in length and direction. Some stones leave straight trails, while others carve sharp curves or change direction abruptly, as if guided by an invisible hand. The mystery deepened when it was observed that not all stones moved at the same time. Some remained stationary for decades before suddenly shifting, adding another layer of intrigue to the phenomenon. For many years, scientists were baffled by this mystery. Various theories were proposed, including the possibility of high winds or even supernatural forces causing the stones to move. Some suggested that earthquakes might be responsible for dislodging the stones, but no one could explain how the stones could move without any external intervention. The puzzle seemed unsolvable. Then, in 2011, a team of researchers led by Richard Norris and Jim Norris set out to finally unravel the mystery. They installed GPS trackers on 15 stones and set up time-lapse cameras across the playa, hoping to capture the stones in motion. In December 2013, after several years of waiting, the researchers finally witnessed the stones moving right before their eyes. The team discovered that a rare set of conditions was necessary for the stones to slide across the playa. Rain must fall, creating a shallow layer of water just a few centimeters deep. The temperatures then drop below freezing, forming a thin layer of ice that makes the mud surface slick enough for the stones to move. The ice, which forms in thin, delicate sheets called windowpane ice, creates a natural slip-and-slide effect on the playa. As the ice melts during the day, the stones are nudged forward by the slight movement of the frozen ground beneath them. During the winter of 2013-2014, one stone was recorded traveling 224 meters, an extraordinary distance for a stone that had remained stationary for decades. While this discovery solved the mystery of the moving stones, it still raises questions about why not all stones move at once, or why some stones remain stationary for so long. The fact that the stones are still able to move with such precision, despite the rare conditions required for their movement, makes them a fascinating example of how nature continues to surprise us. The moving stones of Death Valley, once a baffling enigma, now stand as a testament to the power of natural forces and the complexity of the Earth's ecosystems. Part 12. Lost Labyrinth of Egypt and Final Thoughts. Lost Labyrinth of Egypt, a monument to ancient mystery. More than 2,500 years ago, a Greek historian named Herodotus stood before an architectural wonder that surpassed even the Great Pyramids in scale and complexity. This marvel was the Labyrinth of Egypt, a colossal underground system containing thousands of rooms, intricately decorated with hieroglyphs and murals. According to Herodotus, the labyrinth was located near the Pyramid of Hawara, a place described as so vast and impressive that it took the breath away of anyone who entered. For centuries, the labyrinth was believed to be nothing more than a myth, a creation of the imagination, or an exaggeration by ancient writers. Yet, in 2008, as archaeologists excavated near Hawara, they stumbled upon something extraordinary. A massive structure buried beneath the sands of Egypt, confirming that the legendary labyrinth might not have been a figment of the imagination after all. The structure uncovered in 2008 was indeed large, with walls of white stone and numerous rooms that resembled the descriptions given by Herodotus. The labyrinthine design of the structure, with its many passages, courts, and chambers, suggested that it could have been the same building described by ancient historians. However, the exact purpose of the labyrinth remains uncertain. Some scholars believe it was a mortuary temple or a ceremonial complex, perhaps designed to protect the tombs of Egyptian rulers. Others speculate that it could have been a place of ritualistic significance, used for religious ceremonies or royal feasts. Interestingly, the Egyptians themselves did not refer to the structure as a labyrinth. To them, it might have been a temple complex built to honor their gods and kings, filled with sacred spaces and chambers. Despite the mystery surrounding its original purpose, it seems clear that the labyrinth was not only an architectural marvel, but also a symbol of the grandeur and complexity of ancient Egyptian civilization. Despite the stunning discovery, the site remains shrouded in secrecy. Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities has been extremely cautious about releasing full information, citing national security concerns. In fact, after the initial discovery, the results were kept largely unpublished, and subsequent excavations were either postponed or denied. Why would such a groundbreaking discovery be kept secret? Some have speculated that the labyrinth could contain artifacts or treasure that the Egyptian government is reluctant to reveal, while others suggest that the structure might hold knowledge or religious symbolism that is better left undisturbed. In any case, the Labyrinth of Hawara remains one of the greatest archaeological mysteries of Egypt, standing as a testament to the power, mystery, and grandeur of one of the world's oldest civilizations. Its secrets, hidden beneath the sands of time, continue to intrigue and inspire those who seek to understand the ancient world. Final thoughts. The enduring mystery of the ancient world. As we journey through these unsolved mysteries, one thing becomes abundantly clear. The past is far more mysterious and complex than we could have ever imagined. From the lost tomb of Genghis Khan to the enigmatic Chiasa Temple, from the cryptic Dodecahedrons of Rome to the mind-bending Piri Remis map, the ancient world is filled with wonders and puzzles that defy explanation. These mysteries challenge not only our understanding of history, but also the very nature of human progress, suggesting that there are still many secrets hidden beneath the surface of our knowledge. Each of these mysteries, whether it be the massive stones of Balbeck or the eerie moving rocks of Death Valley, serves as a reminder that the ancient world was filled with awe-inspiring feats of engineering, mysticism, and culture. But more importantly, they remind us that we have only scratched the surface of understanding our own history. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls and the unearthing of Gobekli Tepe are just a few examples of how modern technology and research continue to shed light on ancient civilizations. However, as these examples show, for every answer we uncover, there seem to be even more questions waiting to be explored. Could it be that we are living in a time when the key to these ancient mysteries is just within our grasp, or have some of these enigmas been deliberately hidden, waiting for the right moment in history to reveal themselves? Ultimately, these mysteries remind us of the importance of curiosity and the pursuit of knowledge. As long as there are secrets buried in the past, human beings will continue to search for answers, and perhaps, as we move forward, we will unlock more of the ancient world's most puzzling and profound mysteries, pieces of the past that continue to fascinate, inspire, and challenge us